Hello and welcome to another edition of Luminar Coffee Break. I'm your host, Vanelli. Now, our topic today is how to slim individual people in a group photo. Now, I'm going to show you how we're going to do this using Luminar to slim the body, but I'm also going to show you how to use Photoshop to mask out the other person that you don't want slimmed. Now, yes, it would be great if we could have this feature in Luminar AI, but as of right now, we don't have it, so I'm going to show you how we can achieve it using Photoshop and Luminar AI. Now, if you don't have Photoshop, this will still work with Luminar 4. You could use the same way I'm showing you Photoshop. It's the same way you could substitute it using Luminar 4. It all deals with layers. All right, let's get started. So here I am, and I have this photo of a couple about to be engaged, or a couple that are engaged. Now they just got married. So what I want to do is slim her because she asked me to. Now keep that in mind. I normally wouldn't do this unless the person said, hey, could you do me a favor? Could you make my face look thinner or my body look thinner, remove these blemishes, or drop a few pounds off of me? If they say that, I'll do it. If they don't, I may hint, do you want me to do any editing? And if they say, no, leave it as is, then I know I don't have to mess with it. So I have to make sure I say that up front so you don't make the embarrassing mistake that some of us have made, edit it, hand it to them, they look at it and say, well, that doesn't look like me. All right? So let's go back to it. So the first thing I need to do is I'm going to create a new layer. So I use Control or Command J to duplicate the background layer. Now that I have the background layer copied, this is where we're going to make the change. So I'm going to come over here to Filter, Software, and here's my Luminar AI. Now it's going to launch AI, and once it does, this is where the magic begins. While I'm waiting for that, hello guys, welcome to see all of you here. Julie, Russell, Pat, and Buongiorno. So we have a buddy from France. So here it comes in. Give it a couple more seconds. Now typically my plugin moves a lot faster than the standalone on this. So many memory intensive programs right now. So it takes a little longer for the plugin to load up. All right, so first thing we start out with is our template. All I want to do is look through one of these. Let's see, focus. Just make the general image look great. I like that. We see focus again. Yeah, focus is okay. What about brush up? Nope, too much. Let's go back to midday. I like midday. Edit. And all I'm doing, like I said, is I'm going to make the overall image look very good. Then I'll apply what we talked about. I'm going to shut this pointer off. One moment. There we go. That pointer's giving me a little difficulties. All right, so here I am. My favorite go-to. Crank it up a little bit more. I like that. Let's go to my super contrast. Let's see what the shadows does for us here. Right about there is good. Any highlights we want to change? A little too much. Right about there. Okay, so I have that set. Now the image, I have it set for the base of the image. So this is the base of the image. I'm going to select Apply. Notice I didn't do any changes to the body yet. All right? We're going to do that on the next step. Once I hit Apply, it's going to take these changes we made, apply them to the image, drop it back into Photoshop. Let's give that a second. Hello, Brian. keep in mind, if you have questions, it's a perfect time to start throwing those into the chat. For times like this, that takes for them, especially live, it's easier to answer a lot of the questions that way. Hello, Diana. And yes, by the way, I did keep this at full resolution. And the reason why I did that is I do want you to see it does take time because I'm using a full-size RAW file. If I wasn't online like this, it wouldn't be as long, but a full-res file this size will take some time. All right, so I have it set. Control J or Command J again. So here's the base layer. And on this, let's call this the slim layer. Now, all the changes that I want are on here except for slimming the body and the face. So let's do that now. So we'll come over to Filter. And again, AI. And now it's going to relaunch Luminar AI again. But this time, I don't need to make any changes to it. I'm going to go in, slim the face, slim the body, and then bring it back into Photoshop, and then we're ready to mask out the areas that we want and what we don't want. Now, one thing you should be asking is, why didn't we make a smart object out of this? Now, the reason why we didn't make a smart object is we don't need it. If I made a smart object out of the base layer, when I duplicate it to the next layer, what I make to that next layer will affect that base layer also, unless I disconnect the smart objects. But as it stands right now, you could, but you don't really need it to be a smart object. All right, so here we are. I'm going to bypass the templates. We don't need it right now. Then go right to portrait. Now here we are on the portrait. Body. And I want to bring this in quite a bit. And then for the face, let's slim the face just a touch. Good. Now let's see the difference. Here's before. Give it a second. And then after. All right. So there's that before and after on the face. And then for the body, well, actually, we'll do it up here. Before and after. All right. And then hit apply. Hello, Diana. It's good to see you. Good. Now, once again, it's going to go back over into Photoshop for us. Now, in a case like this, there are different things we can do to get this down. We could, excuse me, we could make it to where the clothing they wear or the angling, the positions we put them in, you make a heavier person look slimmer. A really good person who showed me this was Helene Glassman. Absolutely phenomenal. The way she took me, which I'm a big guy, up on stage, and just the way she posed me dropped about 30 pounds off me. So, all right, so here we are, we're back again. Now that we're here, I'm going to come down and create a mask. Now, I always get confused. Is it black concealed, white reveals, black conceals? Either way, if that's white, make sure that's black. If that's black, make sure that's white. I'm going to grab a brush. Now what I want to do is this. So this here is the slim layer. I know I don't need him to be slim, so I'm going to paint at 100% opacity on him. This is where it gets a little tricky. Let me get all this. And if I press the backspace, or I'm sorry, the backslash button or key, it shows me the mask. Here we are again. Good. If I go too far, which I will, you see how there's a double, like a ghost. So press X, and then I'll change it to white. There we go. And I want to make sure that's okay. There's the mask. That looks good. So, before, after, one more time just to be sure. Yep, that looks good. So, there we have it. So, if you only want to slim one person in the scene, if you only want to slim one person in the scene, you have to create a layer mask. As of now, we don't have masking inside Luminar AI. If they took something away, you know the engineers are going to bring something back even more powerful. And I can see that with the local masking. With the local masking, it's giving me layer-like concepts. So I can definitely see once they start to fine-tune the code that they're going to add some of this stuff to that. I can't guarantee it, but I can foresee it. Because again, they're photographers just like us. They need, or they want to edit images very fast, very proficient, and very creative. And in doing that, they figure out the fastest, most easiest way for us to do that. Well, that works out good. Do you have any questions for me? Now's the time to fire away. Good. Now, just so you know, if you do have Luminar AI, you could join us on Insiders. So you can go to Luminar Insiders, and from there, in fact, let me pull it up for you, is you could join the different groups, and we do have Zoom meetings. And so this will see us in real time as we go back and forth. Let me pull it up. And I believe it's Insiders. Here we go. Yep, that's it. All right, here it is. It's insiders.skylum.com. Insiders.skylum.com. And if you come over here to the events, you'll see that we do have quite a few of the coffee breaks pre-scheduled ahead of time. And we have different topics, along with different groups. You can join in: wildlife, fine art, mobile, product photography, real estate, and the list goes on. So you can join into these groups, and you can join us at 1 o'clock Eastern Time, Monday through Friday, for those classes. So, awesome. Guys, well, it's great. Thank you so much for joining me, and I'll see you at the next coffee break.